work the ball up front. That's Elisha Chikanda. Throw in given to Zimbabwe. So we had quite a blast this morning. Grassroots Festival was on as they again work it quite comfortably into the Zimbabwe penalty box. The Zambians, here's Musoda, Jaden Shanga. Munana Bote playing on the left side, doing a bit of running early on, but it's mostly Zambia in these early exchanges. Both teams 2 draws in the group stage and no win. Here's Billy Mukebesa for the young Chipolo Polo. Zimbabwe really struggling to get the ball out of their own half. Mukebesa. See there, the tall 17 is the danger man. That was a hand, came off a Maxine Msimuko. So Grassroots Festival was on this morning. So many things happening besides the games themselves, as we had youths, boys and girls around about 9 years old, joined by an incredible cast of legends, including Amanda Tlamini, Spiwe Chabalala, who got the first goal of the 2010 World Cup, is here. I saw Trésor Loa coaching these youngsters. Clementine Toure, Côte d'Ivoire coach. What a lot of fun we had, Rose, eh?
It was fun, and it's good for the young kids to have these festivals, and we hope that each and every country will continue to have such kind of festivals during the holidays, because if they are being taught the basic of football, how to control, how to pass, how to move, and it was all about enjoyment at the end of the day for those kids. When you are talking of the under 9, you are talking of fun and enjoyment, and a little bit of learning the skills that they have to impact themselves when they go to the under 12 and under 15s.
Yeah, as Zambia will themselves a corner. I saw your former teammate, Quincy 15, Sita Tadalo Sabanda, also getting involved there, doing some of the coaching. She's in the technical study group here at this tournament.
Yes, she has done very well in terms of upgrading herself, and this is a plus to Zimbabwean football. And she is working with our Primrose as well in the technical study group, understanding what Quincy is doing. And this is exactly that we need as a nation, to make sure that our women are empowered and our women are going to take a charge of women football one day.
Great achievements. Nothing coming out of that corner. Zimbabwe pegged back and unnecessarily losing possession. Charles Sitali, what an opportunity here for Zambia to go ahead. Yes, a sloppy defending from Zimbabwe. It's Chinambu who gets the opening goal. 6 minutes in there, and Zimbabwe just could not clear their lines there, Rose.
Steve, it's very difficult for you if you are defending too deep, and one, you are not pressing the person with the ball. No one was following the players with the ball, and it's very difficult. You need, at least when you are not having the football, you make sure that you are pressing the nearest player who's got the ball, and it's going to be a torrid task for Zimbabwe to come back.
We're trying to play out from the back, but giving the ball away, you don't want to be doing that. And good finish, good opportunity. He got the job done there, did Alan Chinambu. So it's Zimbabwe 0, Zambia 1, 6th minute goal in this 5th place playoff contest on day 3 of the CAF African Schools Football Championship. Zambia coming again, their tails up. Chinambu with the opener, with the run as well. No foul, says our referee from Uganda. But they're winning balls.
Zimbabwean team has always been second on the ball in terms of moving forward. They're not mobile in terms of moving as a unit each and every time when they try to play it from the back. They are very slow in reaction as well, and I think they need to gear up the game coming to the second half. They're giving so much room to the Zambian players to do whatever they want.
So much freedom for Zambia. 20 there is Mwa Shilinji. Also, of those legends here, Nshimunya Mwitwa. He was a player who very nearly made it big in Europe a few years back. He was part of the Grassroots Festival. He's got quite a story, has Mwitwa, because he was caught up in a match-fixing scandal that derailed his career. He's looking well and was coaching some of the youngsters. He does well there, does Maxim Simuko. Still he goes, Msimuko, the ball is in. Opportunity again for the young Chipolopolo, but Zimbabwe will survive this time. Anything on the break here? No, there's nobody up front. Haven't seen much of Dwayne Musona, the captain, who's been influential in the earlier games for Zimbabwe. He's on the right side of midfield, but it's just been Zambian dominance. Here's Musoda, goes direct. Goalkeeper is Tawana Nyasha Piri from Churchill High School in Harare. That's a Blessing Kateya from the Advent Hope Academy. On the field at the top of your picture, there is a Legends game happening right now with many of those aforementioned legends and a few others as well. But here comes Zambia with the goal advantage. Chinambu.
And the other issue, Steve, the Zimbabwean team is doing right now is that they're not moving as a block, one. Number two, there's no unity, there's no communication. And I think they must communicate to one another. And also when they're defending, they must have everyone behind the ball, and each and everyone maybe picking the nearest person so that they mustn't give the Zambian team the room that they are giving. As you can see, Zambia, they're using one striker, but when they're going forward, the other midfielders are very quick to join in, and you're having 3 or 4 players in the Zimbabwean box.
So that had to be punched away. Zambia coming close to getting a second. Nyondo. Nice diagonal ball. Sitali. Sitali gets the crossover. Chances again for Zambia. Maxen, that main man up front. They continue to work it forward. Maxen, but back to goal. He can't get his shot in. Zimbabwe managed to shut him down, but that's blunderous there from Zimbabwe. Dear. Totally fluffed a clearance there, Rose.
Maybe as a defender, you need to keep your eyes on the ball, always looking at the ball and not the player with the ball. You ought to look closely for the ball. And I think they need to be a little bit patient and make sure to make sure that each and everyone is playing the football around for them to have the confidence, because right now they don't have the confidence because they've not been able to play the football around the whole team.
Halfway through the first half, Zambia totally deserving their 1-goal advantage here. They've been dominant from the start. It was Alan Chinambu with a goal 6 minutes in, and Zimbabwe have had very little to offer. The number 9 there, Moses Rumudze, he's barely got involved, and not much either.
Who manages your wealth, legacy, and connects you with investment opportunities in Kenya and globally?
At Standard Chartered, family businesses, business owners, and corporate executives have entrusted us with over $2.3 billion.
As the only international bank in Kenya, we bring you global expertise and a wide range of investment solutions right here at home.
Your wealth is guided by certified relationship managers who are supported by insurance and investment specialists.
Because growing your wealth is not about chasing hype.
It's about clarity, transparency, and long-term value.
Now is your time for wealth. Join Priority Banking today.
But they're putting themselves under so much pressure. Maxen Msimuko feels he should have scored there, Rose.
Yes, because if you notice that it had so many touches and none of the Zimbabwean defenders moved in to close him and had all the time to not to control the ball first time. The first touch was very poor, and none of the Zimbabwean players could even come and press him. And these are the things that they have to rectify.
So another corner for Zambia, but that time it's too long. Billy Mukabesa, the right back, is up for this. Sitali. Oh, past 2 men, does well. So danger men here for Zambia. Charles Sitali got 4 goals in the qualifiers. And Maxen Msimuko, the number 17, was player of the tournament, as they beat South Africa in the final of CAF qualifying. Pongo. Not controlled. 12 minutes we've played. There was an offside there.
And out of the 12 minutes that this game has gone on, Zimbabwe managed to get maybe after the center circle once stiff, and this shows that Zambia is so dominant in this game, and they need to push themselves up in terms of moving. Whenever they are playing it outside their defending third, they should move at least to join in the attack.
Yeah, that is the picture. It's been all Zambia. One up, it could be two actually. That's wildly taken. A whistle had gone for offside, so they are being caught offside twice in the last couple of minutes. It was Alan Chinambu who got the goal 6 minutes into the game. Fifth place placement match also on at the moment. We've got DRC girls against Guinea, plus the Legends match, which we'll tell you about a little bit later on. Really good festive atmosphere here on day 3 of the tournament with the Grassroots Festival on this morning. Well, that was another loose ball from Zimbabwe.
As you can see, whenever they are playing the ball forward, we are only having one person who is Munashe up front, and the rest of the Zimbabwean players are behind. So they need to move as quickly as possible. When they know that they're kicking the ball forward, they should just move, at least be in the middle of the park.
Zimbabwe with their 7 players from Rusununguko High School in their squad. They've been one of the best teams over the past 10, 15 years in schools football. They're not getting the ball up front with much intent, are the young warriors. Munana Bote, highly rated, the number 7. He's not been involved. It's the 4th game in 3 days, to be fair. They played twice yesterday, plus the disappointment of exiting at the group stage as hosts. But they'll need to pick themselves up if they're to go out on a winning note. Here's Dwayne Musona, the captain, playing PSL football with the Bulawayo Chiefs and a part of the under-17 boys national team. Touch there from Abate. Chisango. It's wrestled away from him by the impressive Charles Sitali. It is Zambian dominance in midfield. Sitali again. He's having a good game, Rose.
They are having a very good game, the Zambian team, because in terms of pressing, in terms of being marked with the Zimbabwean team, there's none. So each and every time they have the ball, they can decide what to do. But when we lose possession, as we tell our players that they should at least retain the possession as quickly as possible by closing the nearest person who's nearer to you and making sure that you don't give him options to decide where to play the second ball to. So the Zimbabwean team need to do that, at least a little bit of pressing and a little bit of movement going forward.
So free kick to Zimbabwe. This is about the best chance that they've had in the game so far. Mare Mudze danced past 2 men, but no shot resulting from that. 17 there for Zambia. The main target man, Maxine Msimuko. He's had a couple of chances.
Maybe composure is lacking from Maximum. He should have done better in terms of scoring those 2 balls that he had within the 18-yard box.
Certainly he could have been on the score sheet. Zimbabwe work it up a little bit now after having so much pressure to deal with. Msimuko was ready to go. Here's Charles Sitali. Been so effective on that right side. 13 for Zimbabwe. Tinashe Chajiga from Rusununguko. Inside the final 4 minutes of the first half. Msimuko with the touch. And here's Chinambu. Alan Chinambu got the goal 6 minutes in. ZIFA President Billy Magwizi is here. He's been here every day. He's a second from your left, and it's been the 3rd international tournament that Zimbabwe has hosted in his tenure. The CAF for Girls Gift in December, CASAFA Under-17s. Also hosted by Zimbabwe last September, and this one the biggest of the lot by far, as Msimuko's run Peters out and earns a corner. And the Zifa president told me he hopes that hosting this, Zimbabwe's first ever CAF Continental finals, will lead to even bigger things, maybe hosting the African Nations League in the years to come. And then the big dream, one day, just maybe one day, the Africa Cup of Nations might come here. Fourth corner for Zambia. None for Zimbabwe as yet. 2 minutes to play in leafy surroundings. Gateway High School in Harare. That's not a bad one, but there's no takers. Any chance of a break for the young Warriors? No, not like that. Here's Billy Mukabesa. Sitali and Charles Sitali. He's been quite a menace. Oh, that's a poor ball. Zimbabwe risks getting punished. And Tawana Nyashapiri, he makes the save. He has a lot of areas that Zimbabwe will need to improve on after the break. Zambia continue to win balls in midfield. They have been dominant throughout this first half.
I think the Zimbabwean coach needs to change the formation, because, as I had said, that the Zimbabwean team has been outclassed in the middle of the park, because as Zambia has got 5 versus 3, they have the numerical advantage, and this is where we need one of the strikers or 2 of the strikers to come and join in the 3 midfielders to make it 5 versus 5.
Yeah, playing with 3 forwards, but they're not making an impact at all. The Zimbabwe strike force, and almost ghosting through there. Yeah, it was Simuko. Final minute of the first half here at Gateway High School, day 3 of the CAF African Schools Football Championship. Tomorrow, semi-finals day, and the finals are on Friday. There's a safeguarding workshop on today as well, important part of football these days, youth football. Is safeguarding from danger. There's a lot of educational, developmental things happening. Here's Billy Mukabesa. Mukabesa does get his crossover. Bit of space here. Let's see what the young Warriors can do. Chifumbu. Chifumbu still goes. Back to Munashe Chifumbu. He comes down. Referee says no. The fans not agreeing there. But the referee was not taken by that at all, Rose.
Yes, Steve, as you have seen that he was looking for it, because the defender was standing, so he had to bump into the defender. But he could have taken his shot earlier on. The first time he was in, when he turned inside, he was supposed just to take that shot or pass to Munashe, at least to take a shot on the goal.
Well, it's one of those where if VAR looked at it for 10 times, they might say that was a kick on the leg and it was a penalty, but it would have been soft if it was awarded. Half-time here then, Zambia. Alan Chinambu scored on 6 minutes. Zambia completely dominating the first half here, and Zimbabwe will need to up their game in the second half in this 5th place placement match. Zambia will be very, very happy, but Zimbabwe looking rather weak in that first half. We take a break here at Gateway High School. It is Zimbabwe 0, Zambia 1.
These jerseys aren't 100% polyester. They are 30% lessons learned the hard way, 50% hope, turning threads into memories, 20% triumphs trained and prayed for. This is Africa, 100% made of us.
Rooted in culture, driven by connection. These stories flow between continents, leading a new generation of talent and opportunity. Africa and Europe, together we rise.
That is unforgettable, unless you are, of course, from Zimbabwe, Harare, because the fans have been treated to some Zambia future class football, and that is exactly what we expect to see. I am, of course, looking at this game as a learning curve, and one of the things that I love to do is watch this game next to the coach. All right. And that's who we'll be speaking to, because the coach has this ability to look at the game from a developmental point of view. He wants to see a lot of players play, but apart from that, he wants to see them coached in the right way. I'll be delving into a personal conversation I just had with him, and I know he didn't expect that, but we'll be doing that. I'm joined by Tinashe Matambo as well. Did I say the second name right? Tinashe Matambo, absolutely. And I am joined in here by Tinashe. First of all, we had Olsen, now we have Tinashe. Tinashe, your experience off the pitch.
All right, so there we go. I'll come to you in just a second. I apologize. We are doing these highlights. It's just one goal, but what a strike it was. What a good build-up. You were watching the game, Tinashe. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so Zambia, they were the better side, trying to search for a win for the first goal. And we saw Zimbabwe were panicking. In the first half. They were failing to create meaningful chances. They were often relying on counter-attacks, but they were often intercepted by the towering, powerful Zambia defense. Zimbabwe were made to pay the price for the silly defending when Zambia were allowed to take the lead early in the 6 minutes.
It's the misplaced passes, Coach. Sorry, Tinashe. As you can see there, shot from distance. The ground with the ball bobbling just in front of the keeper. Not an easy one to save. He does one of the many saves he's had to come up with against Zambia, Coach. And the numbers tell the same story. Dominance for Zambia.
Yes, Chico, from a coaching point of view, and when I look at how Zambia is trying to come at Zimbabwe, and how Zimbabwe is trying to play on the break. When I look at what's happening on the pitch, I always tell myself is, when you develop in players, don't play the ball into competition. And this is what's happening, is that when Zambia have the ball, all they're doing is they're building up until the halfway line, and then they throw the ball into competition against the Zimbabwean defense. And yes, the goal looks like it is well deserved, but I look at, if you have clever Zimbabwean defenders, they're able to take it out. I am saying is, guys, watch the bigger teams play in the world and find out why. Because all the balls that we are struggling with now is our players are always putting it into competition. We're putting it into spaces that there's 5, 6, 10 players around that ball. And keep the ball away from the competition within the game, so that you can build the 1-2 passes and the third man running within the last third of the game, and you'll see better goals.
Absolutely. What I love about what Coach Kevin has just pointed out is the style of play that we are not utilizing, especially as we bring these kids up. Basically, you're saying, let's avoid forcing these kids to play long balls, which is something we're seeing a lot of, and instead try and instill into them at a very young age how to play the ball out in space, away from competition, not into the bodies, but away from it. And that's a brilliant thing that I think will be a good lesson for coaches bringing up these young ones through the grassroots to learn and instill in our players going into the future. Speaking of learning and instilling good lessons, what lessons have you learned in this course from CAF as they are trying to build young journalists, future reporters to tell the African story the African way?
Yeah, great lessons indeed. We got some lessons from titans of the industry like Asha. It's helping us marinate, elevate our skills, and hopefully we can be part of the top journalists in the future. We are actually grateful, can't complain at all. I'm actually impressed. This is a great experience, especially to be here presenting on SuperSport. I never imagined myself doing this. I'm actually excited, ecstatic.
Ecstatic, not just there, but we're also live on CAF TV, and he is rather ecstatic in spite of the result. Tough half, of course, not one that instills excitement, I'm assuming, with Zimbabwe trailing this Zambia side.
Well, so I'm expecting Zambia to at least add 2 more goals. Zimbabwe, they are not producing meaningful chances. If they can stop relying on those sporadic counterattacks with their tiny central striker, I'm sure they can do something. They need to build 1-2 passes, have more players congesting into the opponent's half, asking more difficult questions. That would be better. If they keep on relying on one striker who's often being overpowered by the gigantic Zambian defense, they would at least get another goal. But I see Zambia extending their lead. 2 more goals to expect from Zambia. I'm sure it will end 3-0.
That's Tinashe. Coach Kevin, your final thoughts ahead of kickoff for the second half?
Yeah, if I was the Zimbabwean coach, I would put the ball on the floor and build up from the back right up to the last third, and make sure that my defenders are aware of the long ball from Zambia. And I think Zimbabwe, because they're still on home turf, they can come away with a draw in this game.
The funny thing about this is that while it's a competition for developing football in Africa, we know nothing but to compete on the highest level, whether it's young or older. First half has seen Zambia dominate and pretty much walk away with that.
Ngozi yako ina glow. Nilijipaka mafuta leo asubuhi nikikam, lakini skin yangu ishaparara and it looks so dull. Sis, see, it's the new Nice and Lovely Lemon Extract Body Lotion. Hiyo ndo secret yangu to a moisturized and bright skin. Usimix.
New Nice and Lovely Lemon Lotion, enriched with vitamin C and sunflower seed oil for 48-hour nourishing glow and brighter skin. Try Nice and Lovely Lemon Lotion today.
Championship, Zimbabwe, as we were hearing there, really need to turn things around and to do things differently in this second half. Great to have Tinashe there from the Young Reporters programme with his thoughts there. And on commentary in this second half, I'm joined by Laurel Mura, also from the Young Reporters programme from Bulawayo, who's going to be giving us his analysis. Zimbabwe in the all-yellow. Going to be a substitution, and Nesu Gwande is off, and Mwadzile Moyo, he's off, and it's Gwande who comes on. That's a change at the start of the second half. Meanwhile, the Legends game is on at the moment as well. Amanda Flamini, our legend, as part of the commentary team, is in action right now as we speak. Spiwe Chabalala has scored. Spiwe Chabalala has scored in the Legends match. 4 goals. We'll tell you more a little bit later on, but we've had so much fun this morning with the Grassroots Festival. Zambia attack, though, in this 5th place placement match. Laurel Mura from the Young Reporters programme with us here on commentary. So many legends here. It's quite a pleasure to be here, isn't it? To see a mistake there and nearly getting punished. And Zimbabwe should have got an equaliser there.
Yes, Zimbabwe should have got an equaliser, but I think they're a bit shaky. They're not putting so much pressure on Zambia. They need to keep on pressuring them so that they can get something from these kind of chances that are supposed to be getting in the back of the net.
Captain nearly gives away an own goal. Emmanuel Mponga lucky to escape there. So Zimbabwe indeed playing with a bit more urgency now. Kamba, that's number 4, Kamba. Russell Kamba, but need to be more precise there. Yeah, so Laurel, all these legends all around us here. It's amazing. Spiwe Chabalala scoring 4 goals in this Legends exhibition match.
It's really quite interesting to see these legends with us here, and it's really captivating. It's really, it moves us to want to do more and experience the greatness of these guys for what they've done for football. It's really quite amazing and remarkable.
I got a picture with Lomana Tresor Loa, the DRC great, played for Newcastle and Portsmouth. Who did you get pics with?
With coach Calvin Johnson, who happens to be one of the coaches who was part of our alley when they got that medal, the 3rd medal in the Club World Cup.
When he was in the Al Ahly setup with Pitso Mosimane. Wow. Yeah, he told us great stories on the Young Reporters Workshop last week, Friday. 2 minutes in here. Zambia still lead by a 1-0. Is there going to be some consolation for the hosts at least. The girls are playing after this, by the way, against Tanzania. Have that one live for you too. As that's taken by Mwashilinji. Zimbabwe certainly need to up their game. The main striker there, Moses Maremudze. But he's shut down by Mponga. Still haven't seen Dwayne Musona making much of an impact. He's one of the key players for Zimbabwe, the captain. Still plenty of time, and if Zimbabwe can equalise, if it's level after the 40 minutes, we'll go to a penalty shootout. There was a quick clearance by Tawana Nyashapiri. At least we're seeing Zimbabwe attacking more in the second half here. In blustery conditions at the moment. Zambia will just slow things down. Mukebesa. So the pitch not quite to full length. It's about an 80-metre length pitch, so it's a little easier to go direct if that's your approach. Here's Munana Bote. Space here in midfield for the Young Warriors. Amur Conway there was found exposed. Russell Kamba puts the ball forward, but there's a lack of communication here, I think, Laurel.
Yeah, I think Moses has been in good positions, but the midfield has been failing to give him the proper balls that he needs so that he can explode into the 18 area of the opposition.
As Zambia win that midfield battle, Elisha Chikanda. Is there something in this game for the Young Warriors? Here's Mpongo, the captain for Zambia. Still Musona not having done that much in the game so far. Referee's got to give a free kick there. Very dangerous area and an opportunity for Zimbabwe as Tinashe Chajiga was brought down. Correct call, I think, Laurel?
It was a correct call. The Zimbabwean boys have been trying to counter the spaces that have been left by the opposition, the Zambian team, but the young Chipolopolos have been closing the gap for Zimbabwe, and it is quite a good free kick for them.
So Chifumbu, it was the player who was brought down. 7 fouls committed by Zambia, 2 by Zimbabwe. It's pretty physical, actually, for 25 minutes of football. That's quite a high foul count. Munashe Chifumbu, who earned the free kick, is going to take it. It's very central, 25 yards out. Opportunity for the Young Warriors. Coming up there as well is Gwande, who came on as a sub. Elvis Chisango is there as well. 3 players behind it. Oh, it's wasted, way too high. It did not drop down. A squandered opportunity for the Young Warriors.
Yeah, ballooning such an effort on top of the bar, it's quite crazy, and I think Zimbabwe are not taking their chances as the game progresses. They'll need to find these chances in the back of the net if they want to get a result in this game.
And we got update from the Legends game that was taking place close by in the next field. 4-1, Kudzai Chitima scored twice. Nicholas Grinde, Ezra Nyandoro, the former Mamelodi Sundowns and Zimbabwe midfielder, on the score sheet there. And we'll hear more about that. It was a fun thing. Spiwe Chabalala also in action featuring, and Lua and Amanda Clamini. Here comes Zambia now. A second goal would put them in a comfortable position here. Can he finish it off? Yes, it's a simple finish. It is put away by Chinambu, his second goal of the game. Alan Chinambu, he was in the right place, and the Zimbabwe defence caught napping. It's Zimbabwe 0, Zambia 2. Yeah, well, that will not be good for Zimbabwe to look at. The defence is caught flat-footed. There's 3 defenders there. Nicely cut back, and it's a perfect finish.
That's a perfect finish. The Zimbabwean defence was sleeping, and it is a well-deserved goal. Zambia have been sharp on front of goal, and this is a result of their agency, their power, their zeal to try and get something from the chances that they are getting compared to Zimbabwe.
Charles Sitali with the assist. The young Chipolo Polo now very comfortable over the young Warriors. They're finding pockets of space as well. Moses Mukombwe rather laboured his effort there, though, did Mukebesa. Now here's Isaac Nyondo. They'll continue the pressure. So Zambia and Zimbabwe both getting draws. 2 draws in the group stage, but no wins. And Zambia will be very encouraged if they can maintain this. Here's Musoda, the left back for Zambia. Sitali's been good up front. Simoko hasn't had that much of the ball, but he's had a couple of opportunities. Maxim Simoko, the centre forward. And still for the young Warriors, Dwayne Musona. There he is with the touch, but he hasn't made the impact that they would have been expecting. Gwande now. Moses Maramudze, the key striker. Musona, but he puts it well off target.
Musona has been brilliant in this tournament. If we were to look at, he's been showing maturity and trying to assist in all aspects of the team. And also Kamba, ever since the last game that he played, he's been brilliant. He came in as a sub and he provided that muscle in the midfield. And today he starts again in the game, which also proves that his presence has been quite phenomenal for the team. But the results haven't been going in the right way.
More chances here for Zambia. And still seeing Sitali and Chinambu looking very effective. Dwayne Musona played in the CAF under-17s last year when he was only 14. Oh, that's another bad touch, offside. It whistled just over. And Zimbabwe with Elisha Chikanda putting the shot in. Yeah, they're really finding themselves exposed in defence, are the young Warriors. Still quite a bit of a breeze here at Gateway High School, which hosted the 2023 CAF qualifiers for this competition. Still Zimbabwe can't get their way through the Zambia defence. Moses Maramudze, he's working, he's trying. 10 minutes to play. It's 20 minutes each way. Sitali's quite a handful down that right flank. He's been impressive. Now the young Warriors can just settle with their Chisango. But it's in that midfield where Zambia have been so effective throughout. Chifumbu wins it back. Might just try from range here, but he skews his effort to Moses Maremudze. It's a frustrating situation for Zimbabwe.
It is quite frustrating if we are to look at the number of chances that they've created, and all of them they have failed to capitalize on their chances. And Zambia, with just a handful of chances, they have managed to put the ball back in the net. And as the Warriors, it's quite a different story from what we are seeing here.
As Zambia come closer again here, Sitali, good game he's had. Laurel Mura from our Young Reporters programme with me on commentary duties in the second half of this contest, as we've had such a lot happening all around this tournament on these sidelines. Few Zimbabwe fans in here. Won't be going any further. This is the end of the road for both Zimbabwe and Zambia in these placement matches. What can they do from this set piece? It flashes off the post there. That was very tight down offside call. Now, how close was this then?
It was really close, and again, Zimbabwe's defense, they're caught napping there. They need to improve. They need to up their game if they're to try and get something in the remaining 9 minutes, which feels quite a big job for them to do, because they haven't been getting their chances, and it's a pity for the Warriors fans and the families that are here to watch the young boys do what they do best.
Certainly Moses Maramudze is putting in a lot of work here. Chifumbu gives chase. Number 9, Marumudze. He's trying, but it's not working for Zimbabwe. 8 minutes to go. Girls' game in progress, second half. DRC 0, Guinea 0, the latest there. Still, Chinambu has been getting into good areas as well. Here's Mukabesa now for Zambia. Billy Mukabesa. Moses was in exactly the right place, but a good goalkeeping from Atawan and Yasha Piri. Maxim Simuko wanted to flash a header in. Substitution, triple substitution coming up for Zambia. Triple substitution is loading.
The job is done for Zambia, and now they want to bring in fresh legs to exploit this tired Zimbabwean team, which is quite good for the development of the players, because remember, this program is not just meant for you to win, but for the development of all the players that are involved.
Absolutely. It's good from the coach, Evaristo Mukandawire, to give others a run. 7 minutes to go. Zambia pretty comfortable. So the other game, DRC girls 0-0 with Guinea. As it stands, they're going to be going to a penalty shootout. So coming on, Tabo Sindwa, jersey 8, Simon Nyarenda, and Innocent Witola also on. Change of captain for Zimbabwe then, with that change. Marlon Zuruvi now with the captain's armband. Can Zimbabwe salvage something here? Inside the final 6 minutes at Gateway High School. Zurui, the sub with the touch, but it's a poor one. Fourth game in 3 days for both teams. Zimbabwe 2 games yesterday and Zambia, so it's been taxing. Emmanuel Mponga, the captain, goes long and direct for the young Chipolo Polo. Chisango. So that substitution for Zimbabwe quite telling there, because Dwayne Musono was short of his best today.
Dwayne Msona has been quite instrumental for the team. He's been providing all the energy that the team has been needing in the midfield, and he's had to switch positions from number 10 to number 8 to try and provide relief in the midfield, because in the past 2 games, if you are to look, they have been overpowered. They lack physicality compared to other opponents that they played against DRC and Morocco. I think it was quite a different story because of the physicality that they have, in as much as the technical ability they do have it. Yeah.
Zambia 58% of the possession. Zimbabwe scrapping for something. Zurui, no free kick there, no foul, says the referee. Correct decision, I'd say, as well. Here comes Chinambu. Alan Chinambu, scorer of both goals, the Zambia number 10. That's a foul. Tinashe Chajiga earns the free kick. 12 fouls committed by Zambia, 5 for Zimbabwe. That is a lot. Double sub coming for Zambia now. So the stats showing they've been very physical, Laurel.
Yeah, the Zambians have been physical, but we cannot just put...
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get done in a list view. Next, I set a priority and a due date to keep things on track. I create custom statuses to organize my progress exactly how I want it. I like to add the action items field so AI can show me the next steps. I add my teammates as watchers so they're in the loop. ClickUp makes work easy, from personal projects to running a multi-billion-dollar company. Click the link below to create your workspace for free.
On and still playing is Moses Marumudze, the number 9 for Zimbabwe, still trying his all. And a chance for Zambia maybe on the break here to make it 3, but that's skewed completely by Nyirenda. One of those 5 Zambia subs now on.
Yeah, you can see the way Nyirenda was warming up. He looks big. He looks forceful, and him failing to capitalize that chance, it might be a lack of precision, but he's one boy who's really shown that he has the ability to take on defenders and win balls.
That ball went out. Menashe Chifumbu couldn't keep it in. Just over 2 minutes of play remaining here in this placement match. Zimbabwe's girls team are playing next on this field against Tanzania. We'll have that one live for you as well here on CAF TV. There's Chinambu, the double scorer, still on, still with a chance of a hat-trick. And Emmanuel Mponga, that's a nice diagonal ball. Chilinda. It's quite a high cross, nobody's going to be able to get ahead on that. Alan Chinambu scored in the 6th minute and the 27th minute. Zimbabwe without a meaningful opportunity, and those forwards, Bote, Maramudze and Chifumbu, largely ineffective throughout the game. 18 there is Moses Mbewe, one of the other Zambia subs. So pretty much the whole squad will go back to Zambia, having had some game time here at this finals. Maramudze, still they can't get a shot on target. Into the final minute here. And Zambia, you'd have to say, Laurel, certainly very much deserving of this 2-0 scoreline.
They have come in the game. They utilized chances. They created chances, which is what you expect. As a team, and it's quite good that they got the result that they needed. And for Zimbabwe, it tells a different story. Just a handful of chances created, but they failed to make those chances count. And we'll be looking at the drawing board again to say in the next upcoming games, how best can we calibrate our boys into being forceful strikers that can get the goals that are much needed in the game of football. So yeah, for Zambia, it has been a good game.
So that is the final whistle. Zambia end the tournament with 1 win, with 2 draws and 1 defeat. Comprehensive 2-0 victors over Zimbabwe here. Zimbabwe go home with no wins, 2 draws and 2 defeats. We saw the ZIFA president is watching the game, and this has raised a lot of questions once again about Zimbabwe's youth development policy. A lot of conversations going on here in Zimbabwe as other nations have shown that they're much more organised, much ahead. So Zambia going out with a good scoreline. They've beaten Zimbabwe thanks to 2 goals from Alan Chinambu. They've beaten them by 2 goals to 0.
These jerseys aren't 100% polyester. They are 30% lessons learned the hard way, 50% hope, turning threads into memories, 20% triumphs dreamed and prayed for. This is Africa, 100% made of us.
Rooted in culture, driven by connection. These stories flow between continents, leading a new generation of talent and opportunity. Africa and Europe, together we rise.
Jersey number 7 was a problem, Coach Kevin, for Zimbabwe to deal with.
Chico, when you look at how the goal is created, it's created from a build-up, and I think the right winger, the intelligence he has, the number 7, to not play the cross first time, but hold it and turn and wait for the opening, because a lot of the Zimbabwean players are watching the ball, and the number 17 comes from the trees and he scores that goal by just a good tap-in.
Not the only time the players were watching the ball. We've just seen them from a corner off the upright. Here's another in swinger, and this time couldn't find the back of the net. The keeper was almost on an island by himself, Rosemary.
It is very true, Chico. The entire, especially the first half, the Zimbabwean defenders were ball watching the entire 20 minutes. But in the second half, there was a little bit of coming into the game in terms of making sure that they're marking the player with the ball and even going forward. But a lot of ball watching. As you can see, the position that Zambia were leading with 58 and Zimbabwe with 2. The pass accuracy as well tells you which team has more dominance, especially in the middle of the park. The target, as you can see, Zambia had 3 and Zimbabwe had 9. The attempts, Zambia had more attempts than Zimbabwe in terms of 10 versus 4. Corner kicks, Zambia was leading each and every department. It's showing on the statistics that Zambia had the upper hand the entire 40 minutes, and they couldn't maybe convert the chances that they had. You can't have 10 attempts and you only score 2 goals because of the composure which was lacking, but they did very well in this game.
Coach Rosemary, Kevin and I were talking about this during halftime, in which we got the experience with Olsen at the beginning and Tinashe during halftime. But with you and the coach, 2 coaches, let's have a quick chat on why we are not training perhaps our players to play away from competition, away from traffic and into spaces. Are you seeing that as well?
Yes, but when we are talking of the under 15, we are talking of development. The tactical part of it, it will be less of the tactical part of it. It's more of the technical ability that we are working with these kids to understand. And the tactical part of it, it will come later, maybe at under 17. But I'm happy that some of the teams, they are technical and tactical sound, and maybe they've got more time together as teams, and they've more time in terms of playing and training their kids, and you could see the difference between Zimbabwe and Zambia in terms of going forward, how to defend, and their structure as a team. It was very different from the Zimbabwean side. But we are saying to Zimbabwe, you did very well in terms of getting on board the last minute and making sure we hosted the CAF schools and championship, and we are saying to the boys and girls, you did well. There's more time to learn, and there's more time you will improve as a team, and we are hoping for the best in the next year.
Coach Kevin, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what she just said.
My thoughts are a little bit different, Chico, and it goes back to when you look at the statistics, Coach Rosemary, what they are, how they are, where they are, and how possession, how much